The end goal of a search engine when it's crawling a page is to try to determine what a web page looks like to regular people. But the search engine can't see a page like we do. Instead, it sees the code that the web servers send back to our browsers. And to help illustrate this, let's take a look at the Explore California homepage. To us as humans, we see a rich and colorful web page with lots of content on it. Pictures, text, menus, and videos in all kinds of colors and styles. It's visually appealing, and we know how to absorb all of this information and to navigate through it. But to a search engine crawler, this same page looks like this instead. Now, to the untrained eye, this may not look like the same page we were just looking at, but it is. All of this markup and code is really just a bunch of instructions that our browsers can follow in order to render a great-looking web page onto our screens. And the important part is that this is the code search engines look at. Web pages are ultimately created with HTML code and markup. And this code helps browsers figure out where to find and download all the files we'll need to produce this pretty page, where everything is visibly placed on the page, how things are laid out, what fonts, colors, and sizes to use, what side menus will look like, where links will point to, and where content elements are going to be placed. If you take a close look, you can also see that there's lots of stuff in the HTML that may not end up on the screen. And these are the items that provide us with extra opportunities to help search engines understand our content even better. HTML code is also responsible for referencing and loading style sheets, which are extra instructions that help define the visible attributes of a page. Font coloring, content sizing, line spacing, background images, page conventions, all kinds of rules for the visual representation of your page can be found here. And HTML is not the only language that browsers can understand. These days, web pages are made more interactive through the use of things like JavaScript and HTML5 elements, which the browser can read and execute and makes possible things like animations, slideshows, dynamic menus, and more. You can also find code that produces different types of non-text content. For example, this is the block of code that's responsible for rendering that video we see on the homepage. While we as humans can watch all the richness of that video and hear its message, this block of code is all that a search engine is able to see. While this isn't a course on web design or programming, it's important to understand the perspective of the search engine as we go through this course and see what it sees. As you can probably guess, making sure that your website's code is clean, efficient, and free of any coding errors will help ensure that your pages are displaying properly to your users. But it will also save the search engine some confusion. The cleaner your code, the easier it will be for you to make adjustments to improve your on-page optimization. And the more search engines will trust that your pages will be a good experience for your users.